All right, everybody, welcome back into the Double R Reacts. In this video, we are going to react to a few things here in regards to Lamar Jackson standards that people hold against him. And we're also going to talk about Lamar Jackson in the MVP race from Shannon Sharpe on NightCap and on ESPN First Take. So in this first clip, we're going to play, it's going to be about Shannon Sharpe talking about the standards between Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, and Josh Allen, and one is held differently because one has won an MVP and the other two don't get the same standards or criticism in the playoffs because they have not won an MVP, which makes no sense. And I'll give my thoughts on that after this plays.
Had this conversation on First Take. Is Lamar Jackson's career a failure if he doesn't win a Super Bowl? I said no. I said it's a disappointment. Because no other two-time league MVP has failed to win a Super Bowl.
Okay.
And at the end of the day, that's the only thing that's left off this resume. Now, we can't change it because we like that, because we hold that against guys that don't win, especially, they say, well, you don't judge Josh Allen. Josh Allen ain't got no MVPs. Well, you don't judge, Joe Burrow ain't got no MVPs.
Okay, stop it right there. That part right there. We don't judge Josh Allen because he doesn't have any MVPs. We don't judge Joe Burrow because he doesn't have any MVPs. Let's get one thing straight. Even though Lamar Jackson has won multiple MVPs, it's not like those guys that we're mentioning are not right there with Lamar Jackson. Reminder, on most occasions, there can only be one MVP per season. So just because Lamar Jackson has two MVPs does not poo-poo the work that Joe Burrow has done, the work that Josh Allen has done. Like, the MVP is an award to say, you know, how great of a season that you had. But just because Joe Burrow hasn't won an MVP does not mean in any stretch of the imagination that he does not fall under the same criticism for not winning a Super Bowl as Lamar Jackson. Let's break down Joe Burrow right here. Joe Burrow, second year in the league, 4,600 yards, 34 touchdowns, 14 interceptions, right? That's the year he went to the Super Bowl. Did he win the Super Bowl? No. Out of all the three quarterbacks that we're talking about here, he has reached the furthest plateau, which is getting to a Super Bowl. He did not win a Super Bowl, but he had 4,600 yards, 34 touchdowns, and 14 picks, a 108 quarterback rating, okay? 2022, Joe Burrow, 4,400 yards, 35 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. No MVP, though. But those are damn good numbers. Those are damn good numbers. And the Bengals are always in playoff contention. Last year, he was hurt. So we're not going to look at last year. But this year, 4,200 yards, 39. He leads the league in touchdown passes. He leads the league in passing yards at 108.5 quarterback rating, which almost matches his 2021 campaign. And he's probably not going to win the MVP because his team is not that good. His defense is not that good. All right, so just because Lamar Jackson has MVPs on his ledger, on his resume, does not mean that other quarterbacks who put up similar or better numbers than Lamar Jackson don't fall under the same criticism. Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, whatever you want to rank them, those are the top four quarterbacks in the AFC. It can only be one Super Bowl winner a year, and it's been Patrick Mahomes. So just because Lamar Jackson has the individual trophies does not make Josh and Joe Burrow immune to the same criticism that Lamar Jackson is. I don't understand this standard stuff. Josh Allen. All right, let's look at Josh Allen's numbers, by the way. Josh Allen in his career. Let's take a peek and you be the judge if Josh Allen falls under the same bracket as Lamar Jackson. Let's start at 2020. Josh Allen, 4,500 yards, 37 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, a 76.6 quarterback rating. 2021, 4,400 yards, 36 touchdowns, and 15 interceptions, a 66 quarterback rating with a 92 passer rating. 2022, 35 touchdowns, 4,200 yards, 14 interceptions, a 96 passer rating, 73 QBR. Last year, 4,300 yards, 29 touchdowns, 18 interceptions, a 92 passer rating, and a 70 quarterback rating. And obviously this year, 3,500 yards, probably gonna have 4,000 again, 26 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, a quarterback rating of 101 and a QBR of 76. So and he may win an MVP this year. It depends on how these last couple games go. So just because Lamar Jackson has the hardware does not mean that these other quarterbacks who have not reached the Super Bowl other than Joe Burrow don't fall under the same criticism just because of the hardware. The Bills have been just as good as the Ravens. Some could argue the Bills have been better than the Ravens in certain seasons, especially when Lamar got hurt, 21 and 2022. Joe Burrow has been to a Super Bowl. Outside of that, Joe Burrow hasn't done anything. He hasn't been back to the Super Bowl. He hasn't been back to the conference championship. So what are we talking about here? Like, I'm tired of this only being pinpointed on Lamar Jackson, as if like Lamar Jackson's here because of the MVPs and Joe Burrow and Josh Allen are down here. But yet they're always in the MVP race though, right? Josh Allen and Joe Burrow are always in the MVP race. They may not win it, but just because they don't win it does not mean that their team and the quarterback themselves don't fall under the same criticism as Lamar Jackson. That's all I'm saying. Is be fair with it. Let's continue.
Justin Herbert ain't got no MVPs. So we have to judge Lamar because there's only 3 guys that got MVPs, regular season MVPs, that's still playing. Aaron Rodgers got 4 MVPs. He has a Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes got 3 Super Bowls, got 2 MVPs. He got 3 Super Bowls. So the only other guy that's playing in the league right now that has a league MVP
is Lamar.
Jackson. Lamar Jackson, Aaron Rodgers, and Patrick Mahomes.
Some people will be upset. Some people will argue the fact that Lamar Jackson is treated unfairly based on the standard in which we hold him to because of those MVPs.
No.
But that is the standard that we hold players to.
That's the standard,
once they achieve, something of that.
Okay, and that's the standard you guys may hold on to. Because he has the MVPs, he needs to get it done and win a Super Bowl. Okay, so if Joe Burrow and Josh Allen never win an MVP award, right? Does that mean that they don't get the same criticism for not going to a Super Bowl? Let's say they never win an MVP and never get to a Super Bowl. You're telling me that they're not going to get judged the same way you people judge Lamar Jackson because they didn't win an MVP award? I don't understand what we're talking about here. The MVP is an individual accomplished award that can only be given to most likely one player per year. It's like Lamar Jackson's Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson is like Michael Jordan. Patrick Mahomes is winning championships. Lamar Jackson is winning MVPs. But it can only be one winner at the end of each season. That doesn't poo-poo anybody else. For example, Charles Barkley in basketball. Charles Barkley never won a championship. Does Charles Barkley get poo-pooed and criticized for not winning a championship? No, because Michael Jordan was there. Michael Jordan was the best ever. Lamar Jackson, as an individual talent, has been dominating outside of Patrick Mahomes. So that doesn't mean that Joe Burrow and Josh Allen don't get the criticism because of the standards that you guys put on there. Everybody has different standards. That is not universal standard. That is not universal standard because you guys say, oh, he has all these trophies but doesn't win a Super Bowl, that everybody else that doesn't have an MVP and doesn't have a Super Bowl just gets a pass. I just don't understand the thinking here.
Thank you.
But people
I'm glad you're saying what needs to be said.
But people don't see it that way, especially when it's a player you like, especially when you're a fan of said player.
I don't see it that way.
They're able to see.
Me being a fan of Lamar Jackson has nothing to do with how I feel about this particular topic. Because it's like now you guys are saying because Josh Allen and Joe Burrow don't have an MVP, they don't get the same criticism. We're just poo-pooing, making excuses for those guys. Why haven't Josh Allen won an MVP? I mean, why hasn't Josh Allen won a Super Bowl? Why hasn't Joe Burrow won a Super Bowl? I just read off the numbers. They're having damn near, you can argue, better seasons and some seasons better than Lamar Jackson has. So how do they not get the same grade? Joe Burrow has made it to a Super Bowl. Great. He didn't win. Josh Allen made it to a conference championship. Great. Lamar Jackson did too. Neither one of them win. All right. Neither one of them been to a Super Bowl, right? But y'all say Josh Allen is great. He's so good. He's so great. But yet when it comes to arguments like this, he gets a pass. I just don't get it. Hold him to the same standard because there is great quarterback play. The MVP award is just saying you were the best of that year. Doesn't mean that there aren't other good quarterbacks that year because there's only one MVP. Like, stop the nonsense here.
Separate and compartmentalize it, and separate. Hell, okay, he had 2 MVPs, but still look at the season he's having. If he doesn't happen to win a Super Bowl, it's still okay to them.
Lamar Jackson.
No, it's not okay. I'm a Ravens fan. I would want Lamar Jackson to win a Super Bowl. If for some reason he does not win a Super Bowl in his career, that does not diminish his career at all. It doesn't. It just doesn't. Like, as a player, as a talent, he still provided highlights, provided moments, and his team. I mean, it'd be unfortunate, but I would not be okay with that. I want him to win a Super Bowl to shut this whole narrative up. But even if he doesn't, it doesn't diminish his legacy and his resume at all. He can win 5 MVPs and no Super Bowl. That doesn't diminish Lamar's resume. You'll look at him and be like, damn, how did he win 5 and not win a Super Bowl? But it doesn't diminish him at all. Joe Burrow and Josh Allen may not win an MVP ever in their career. I don't believe that. And they may not win a Super Bowl. Will that diminish their legacy because they don't have the hardware? Make it make sense. Comment below what you guys think in the comment section. I got other videos coming up about the Bengals being the scariest team in the AFC, which further elevates Lamar Jackson's MVP candidacy, because people were poo-pooing when I said, oh, Lamar beat the Bengals 2 times this year. He was like, oh, well, that don't matter because he don't have a defense. They don't have a defense and blah, blah, blah. He put up numbers against a bad defense. The Bengals are a threat if they get in the playoffs, and they are scary. So you have to add, anyway, we'll save that for the next video. Double R Reacts, Double R is out.